Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. Whew, the year is almost over. It's New Year's Eve. In other words, it is December 30th, 2025. Gosh, we've got 2 days left in the year. What a year it's been for the video game industry. New console in Nintendo Switch 2. Plenty of new games across the board. Great industry events like Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards. Another Indie Mania hosted, the second in a row. Trailers dropping for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. First images revealed from the Legend of Zelda movie. This channel entering a new phase of countdowns, gaming history, live streams with all of you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the future, including the subject title today being, it looks like the next PlayStation and the next Xbox might be further away than we originally thought. RAM issues, etc. And the other topic being Nintendo Switch 2. I fully expect it to dominate next year. Now, that doesn't mean success for Nintendo and failure for Sony and Microsoft. It just means I am expecting Nintendo to walk away the best-selling console of the year in 2026. Likely also with the most amount of exclusive games for it. But let's see who's here first. I have the pop-out chat open, and let's go. iByzantium is here saying happy PGN Live. Robbie Reigns 1 says hi. Steak 1024 is in the house. Hey Paul and hey chat. Hey Steak. David Patterson is here. Hey Paul and chat. Hey David. Tall Show is here as well. Hello Tall Show. Let's see, hold on. Has Hassan Game Pro Gamer HT Terrell. I hope I said that right. Hi there, happy holidays. Hi there, Terrell. If you don't mind, I'm going to say Terrell because it's a little tricky to read it all at once. But welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well today so far. It's 11:53 on this side. Pretty windy, a little bit of a drizzle. It's expected to rain more over the next several days. The RAM ranch is getting smaller. Yeah. A lot of RAM consumption, manufacturing is going for other things beyond video game development, you know? You've got AI houses. You've got this future push in a different technology. And yeah, AI may benefit video game developers, but the RAM usage in creating, generating, making this avenue more powerful also means less RAM readily available for mass manufacturing a new product that needs, 14 million units to be pumped out in the first year. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be a little bit trickier. I mean, I was not expecting a PlayStation 6 or an Xbox 6. I'll get to why I'm calling it Xbox 6, by the way. I wasn't expecting either console from Sony or Microsoft to drop in like November of 2026. But I was thinking, November 27 at the earliest. But by 2028 was my expectation. Dang, maybe now, like November 28th is the earliest. Maybe it's a 2930 system. That sounds a little far-fetched, but we'll see. Kind of unknown times ahead. Terrell says, are you ready for New Year's Eve tomorrow? Yes. David Patterson, 153 here in Minnesota. Cool. I caught you before I work at 4 today. Well, good. I'm glad that you're here for a bit, David. We're probably going to have an hour stream. We'll see. This is one of the last 2 streams of the year. I mean, we're ending the year with a bang. I checked this morning and oh geez, well let me check again right now because I checked this morning and we are at 8,021 subscribers. Wow, what a cool goal that was achieved. I didn't even know if it was going to be a goal. Like, what number am I going to hit this year? Started off the year at like 3,600 or something. Went from 3,600 to 8,021. And in terms of members, it was like 424 members. Wow. That's a little bit behind the peak of 461, but 424 is only 76 away from 500. That's a lot to get in 2 days. I'm not counting on it necessarily. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but the fact that the channel is sitting where it's at with 8,000 subscribers and nearly 400 members is quite a powerful ratio that might not ever happen again, you know? As a channel grows, the likelihood of new members isn't 1-to-1, you know? But at this point, we're almost at 1 in every 16 members on the channel being a member. And that's just kind of a cool fact. Like, that's a neat number to almost hit, you know? Tall Show says, I had a 96 gigabyte kit on my PC part picker list. It was around $400. Now it's around $1,200. Holy smokes. Triple the price, and not for newer tech, just that same 96 gigabyte kit, right? Oof. Yeah. And then you wonder, well, Microsoft increased prices twice this year on their Xbox Series line of platforms. PlayStation increased their price on all PS5 models. Nintendo bumped up the price of the 3 Nintendo Switch models, including the base, the Lite, and the OLED. The only thing not affected yet was Nintendo Switch 2. However, things like steering wheel, dock, Pro Controller, etc. did have a last-minute price adjustment in which they all increased, you know, post-tariff announcement and stuff like that. So Nintendo Switch 2 in a sense did get a price increase, but not on the console, you know, so that's not really felt there. Nintendo's making up of what they're losing a little bit on the system elsewhere in controllers and stuff. And they're still selling a lot in terms of software games. Can Nintendo keep the price at that $450 going into 2026? Maybe, hopefully. At this point, they have over 10 million, if not 15 million Mario Kart Worlds out there. The bundle will no longer exist. That Pokemon Legends ZA bundle will be phased out as well. They won't be giving away a game for $30 less anymore. There could be and hopefully will be incentive for others to pick up Mario Kart. It may get a boost from the movie. It may get a boost around the 1-year anniversary if, let's say in February or June, Nintendo announces like, hey, Mario Kart World is getting some significant DLC. Some free, some paid. Boom. More sales, more big games. Maybe Nintendo will be generating enough from software and the base model being $450 with the amount of, you know, games that are being sold, a high tie-in ratio, that they won't need to increase the price of NS2. But yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to look pretty good next year, I think. What about PS5 and Xbox Series, though? Could they go up in price again? We'll see. Interesting times. Yvonne Francois is here. Hi, Yvonne. Oh, Michael S. Gutmann. Hello, everyone. Hello, Michael. Tsukino Ame. Hi there. Hi. No shot the Switch 2 will remain at the current price, says Figure Drawing. You know, it's probably safer to assume that if everything is going up, RAM price is going up, then Nintendo Switch 2 would suffer under the same consequences, right? And also go up. However, if Nintendo has such high profit margins and they're making money hand over fist from software that has a great tie-in ratio where games that they released and games on the horizon, games that end up coming out in 2026, are selling beyond expectation, significantly beyond expectation. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie is generating a high volume of money, and that's giving a boost. And then the theme park is getting a boost. And toys and everything else is all working well. They could take a little bit of that loss on the hardware and perhaps not raise the price. So, safe to assume in one regard, but not a guarantee, because if they end up with, a couple of real big bangers, that amount of money will be more than enough to make up the difference, We'll see. Koridon 785 with that green badge flash, being a member for 3 months in that PGN White Belt tier. Thank you, Koridon 785. Good to see you here. Thank you for using that badge to pop off. The Great Wah is here. Hey, the Great Wah. Let's see. Freddie Mercury, hello from Greece. Happy New Year. Ooh, it's very close for you. It's almost New Year's Eve. 9 at night. Yeah, you've got 3 hours to go about, and it'll be New Year's Eve for you. Pretty cool. Cole York. Depends on if they decide to raise the Switch 1 price again, not to have to on the Nintendo Switch 2. Good point as well, Cole York. Nintendo is expecting less Nintendo Switch units to sell in 2026 than Nintendo Switch 1 ones, correct? So the public perception being damaged, ruined, of the Nintendo Switch is less important than ruining the image of the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. You wouldn't want negative publicity around Nintendo Switch 2 prices going up, but on the ancient hardware that's 9 years old, that system go up a little bit. Yeah, it might not be the most attractive thing for the general consumer, but for those that are new to video games that are seeing, oof, now what are my options? $600 here for a PS5, $600 here for an Xbox Series X, $500 for this PS5 digital, gosh, $450 for this Xbox Series S. And to my understanding, Xbox isn't as popular, so I'm going to take that away. Ooh, that $600 PS5 is a lot. That $500 non-digital one means I have to own all the games digitally. Hold on. And I have to buy a hard drive, and the hard drive costs a lot. Nintendo Switch 2 at $450. Oh, that's still a lot. How about this Nintendo Switch? Because we don't need cutting edge stuff. We are in a cutting edge family, a gamer family, really. So to my understanding, it used to be $300. Now it's $350. Now it's $375. $375 for this base Nintendo Switch, but it's portable, which is less than an iPad, and a home console. Maybe it is more than it cost 9 years ago, but they're not thinking that too much, but they might be aware of it. But that's still $75 less than that Nintendo Switch 2. That's still less than that Xbox Series S. I guess I'll buy it. You know what I mean? So, you're going to sell less Nintendo Switches with a price hike, maybe even fewer. But the amount of money that you make to balance off and come out still net positive is still possible. There's a lot at play. Overall, you gotta say, sell games, make good games that sell, and there's your profit. Count on that, Game Center X, 9925 says 2026 going to be a great year for Switch 2. Yeah, it is. Nintendo Switch 2 will wind up the overall best-selling console of the year in 2026. It hasn't been out long enough to be the best-selling console worldwide in 2025. It came out at the halfway point. It was the best-selling in Japan for the year. In the United States, by the end of June, it was the second best-selling. So in 25 days, it was the second best-selling system in the US for the whole year. By the end of July, it was the best-selling. Now, we're going to see, when November and December are finally tallied up. I mean, November already passed, and we know that PlayStation 5 outsold Nintendo Switch 2 in the United States for the month, but we'll see how December goes. We'll see overall for the year, was Nintendo Switch 2 able to outsell the competition in half the time? In US and Japan, yeah. In Europe, maybe, maybe not. Totally in the world, maybe, maybe not. But in 2026, yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to take it. In Japan, they're going to take it big, big time. You know, you're going to have 8 million or so Nintendo Switch 2s sell in Japan next year. And maybe you'll get like 1 million PlayStation 5s. So it's going to be a big difference right there, which is going to help out other markets. North America, Nintendo Switch 2 will also be number one. Europe and other territories, some will be this, some will be that. I don't know if Xbox will take the cake, take the number one spot in any particular region. Probably not. But yeah, a lot of third parties have committed to Nintendo Switch 2, but we do also have Grand Theft Auto 6 coming in 2026. If that doesn't release on NS2, when that does come out in November, it's going to be a big spike for PlayStation and to an extent Xbox. But we'll see. No doubt, though, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have an awesome 2026. Figure Drawing 4912 says, I know that Switch 2 is a bit of a lost leader, but you said it. Certain hardware parts are out of control in regards to price. Yeah, it's true. J Views says, hey, Paul. Hey, J Views. Good seeing you here. Could GTA 6 be a real problem for the Switch 2 if it doesn't get it? Cole York, it won't be a real problem, but it would be unfortunate. Because here you've got Nintendo Switch 2 with all of the momentum. All year round, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be just tearing up the charts. In Japan, it's going to dominate like none other. It's getting heavy hitters early in the year like Resident Evil 9, aka, Resident Evil Requiem. So it's going to establish more and more of a mature fan base. Part of the audience that GTA does need to have because it's a mature rated game. And you're going to have Duskbloods, another likely mature rated game. And you'll have Borderlands 4. You'll have Pragmata. You'll have other games that are mature or hard teen, and you are going to continue selling in the US. And you're going to sell plenty of consoles around the launch of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and it's going to cater to all people, families, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, teens, kids, everything and everywhere, all across the board. So by the time November rolls around, it would be really nice to see GTA 6 land on the system. Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be market leader next year. It doesn't need GTA 6 to succeed, because at that point, November, you could have a Ocarina of Time remake for all we know, a brand new 3D Mario game for all we know, and that would do just fine on its own for the holidays. But it would be nice to also have GTA 6. Ash Gaming with the 1 gifted membership. Big thank you, Ash. Awesome. What a way to end the year with 1 more membership. Awesome to see. Let's see. Ash with the $1. Big thank you. Very cool. Thank you, Ash. What did I say we're at earlier? Now we're at 425 members. You know what? I'm going to write that down here because let's see, what is it? Total members. 425. Yeah, because YouTube at this point won't update me. Let's see, make it a different color to stand out. Purple? Yeah, let's go purple. We don't have purple up in here. Yeah, okay. That's just for fun. I mean, that's just good for me to see, good for me to know, because, like I said, YouTube won't update as quickly as I can. Oh, man, 425? Woo, shoot, that's cool. That's 75 away from hitting 500. Oh my gosh. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Big thank you, Ash. That's hype right there. Johan Nintendo Leaker says tomorrow is Doug Bowser's last day. Ah, yeah. Doug is great. I met Doug in 2016, I think, at E3. And yeah, he's become a personal friend over the last almost decade. Always pleasant whenever we talk, whenever we meet, any event. You know, at Super Nintendo World, at the red carpet premiere of the Super Mario Brothers movie, at the Game Awards, at E3, online, super hospitable, really kind, good person. I wish him the best going forward, you know. If it's a pure retirement and he's just done working, that's it. That's it. Spend time with your kids and your grandkid. Enjoy that, you know. That's cool. Or if it's like, okay, smaller, less demanding job, like, you know, so be it. Enjoy that path. I like Doug. I wish him the best. He's awesome. Tall Show says, when do you think Nintendo will finally implement an add to cart option in the Switch 2 eShop for games and DLC? Switch 1 eShop used to have that for DLC only. That could come in this next year. You know what I'd like to see, Tall Show? Gosh, I don't know why Nintendo doesn't do this. They had it on Wii, which was buy and gift a game for a friend. You could give it to someone like that, and once in a while it would be like, oh man, you need to play Super Metroid. Let me buy you Super Metroid and go to your virtual console. Oof. We grew up on this Street Fighter game. Let me get you Super Street Fighter or something like that, you know? Get that function back where you could buy a digital game and gift it to a friend as long as you have their friend code and you are friends on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2. Bring that function back. How come it doesn't exist? That's something weirdly absent from the last 8.5 years. That should come back. Small little man saying hello. Okay, I think to Tall Show probably. Does the existence of Tall Show imply the existence of a short show? David Patterson. Okay, talking back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. I like to see it. Is it true that Sony is in the works of creating a PSP Vita 2 to compete in a handheld gaming? Supposedly. I mean, there's been talks, there's been rumors. We could be looking at, you know, a third designated PlayStation portable console that's not PlayStation portable, right? Because that doesn't quite count. That's more of an accessory. Kind of, yeah. Anyhow. It's quasi. It's somewhat there, you know. But yeah, maybe. It probably wouldn't be cheap. Probably now would be even more expensive. And when would it come out? Oh, potentially later than we thought. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. Will it live up to the hype? I used to own an original PSP and also the PSP Vita, but on the Vita there was not too many titles for the system, which was a bummer. I liked it. Yeah, despite the Vita being a pretty snazzy looking system, pretty nice quality screen and overall build, it didn't sell all that well and it didn't have a grip of exclusive games. Yeah, designated PlayStation handheld. I don't know. I don't think it's going to give Nintendo Switch 2 a run for its money. But it would probably sell better than Steam Deck or the Xbox ROG Ally X, you know. But is Sony going to be making exclusive games for it? I'll buy one game and have it play and scale differently on your PS5, your PSP3, or your PS6 eventually, a shared library They have a few different ways to do it. Could be cool. Cole York says PS handheld is supposedly going to be dockable like the Switch and will be a weaker PS5 in handheld form essentially if the leaks are true. Yeah, if they do something like that where it's not as strong as a PS5, but it's a pretty strong portable console that you could dock and you could experience your PS4, PS5 library with maybe some small reservations being like, okay, expect this to be a little bit toned down or something. Could be all right, but the price is going to be an interesting thing too. Yeah. I don't know. The video game industry is fantastic, though. It's so interesting. So many things have happened over the years that you never would have anticipated, you know? Lee J5554 says, "Hey, cool kids. What's up? Hey, Lee J. Living the dream over here. That's good. Doug's going to post a lot more vacation pictures, probably. Tabby Cat Game says, good afternoon. How are y'all? Good afternoon. Doing well. How are you doing? Yeah, gifting was great on the Wii, says Tall Show. Yeah. Tsukino Ame says, so excited for Tamagotchi life. In the old game, my mom married Morgan Freeman. That's pretty cool. That's cool. That's fun. Lee J says, I need Nintendo to add a select button for the Switch Online icons. I'm always clicking one at a time to grab them all. Oh, isn't that true? Isn't that true? Do you wish to get this? 10 coins. Boom. Next. Get this one? Yes. Get this one? Yes. Get this one? Like, oh my gosh, dude. Just let me go. X. Yeah, I want to buy all of them. Yeah, okay, here's 70 coins. Done. Simple thing like that. That's true. That's kind of funny. Mohammed Taresh 231 says, watch the Dust Bloods selling Switch 2 like cakes. Yeah. I think the Dust Bloods is going to be a pretty big deal. I hope it's in the February Nintendo Direct, because we haven't seen it. Well, we saw a little glimpse of it at the Game Awards, but we haven't seen new footage like, here's the HUD, life bar display, how it works, gameplay trailer, story trailer, cinematic stuff like, oh, come on, let's get hyped for this thing. We haven't seen that in a while. So that's a pretty big deal. Tall Show, in eShop gifting would make giveaways a hell of a lot easier. Dude, Tall Show, this channel, a big part of it is about that gifting back, Imagine if we reach a goal in the stream and it's, hey, do you want to roll the wheel now? Or like, take this challenge on, double or nothing. Oh, okay, so you piqued my interest. $64, $10 eShop card, or $10 little game at, my choosing to give. We hit 128, it's going to be 20 for one person. But if we don't hit 128, like we hit 110, it's nothing. Little community incentive to help one person get that $20 gift. Or we do 2 10s, which we've done in the past. Or maybe someone in the community is like, I want to be responsible for just gifting. I would like to be the one to give the gift. Kind of like how Steak 1024, like Roger Enyart, have been, very generous this month and in previous months as 2 examples who have gifted memberships. And maybe they're like, I'd like to be the one to be able to gift a game. No one ever has to do anything like that. But Nintex 2 Dope, he gifted out a full-on copy of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So, yeah, gifting games just would be so good. It'd be so cool. We'd probably take advantage of it in some way and have fun with it on this channel. Exclusivity matters. Yeah, Mohammed. You love your Nintendo Switch 2. It's not going anywhere. True, David. Vita means life. Vita could have been more if Sony supported it better. True, Gambit. The Vita was definitely ahead of its time. I remember getting Borderlands 2 bundle and got stick drift halfway through the campaign. Oh, that's rough. I'm still ready for 2026 to start. How about everyone else? Yeah. Didn't have proprietary memory for Vita. Gen 10 Pokemon. Sasuke. Uzumaki Ninja. Gen 10 Pokemon 2026. Can't wait. Yeah. Dang. Going off that image, going off of a couple rumors, ooh, we could be looking at the best looking Pokemon game by far. Joycey J. Never wanted to marry Morgan Freeman, but I would have loved it if he narrated my life. There you go. An interesting question would be, will Sony be able to at least replicate the PSP level of success? Selling something in the neighborhood of like 70 million systems? Could Sony simultaneously run two high-profile systems at the same time in today's day and age, with consumer cost in all things being higher than ever, Nintendo having such a strong position in the market, stronger than they have in a long time, Xbox with their own product, Xbox being on everything, Steam Deck gaining a little bit of traction, there being a lot of competing, comparable ROG Ally X, other devices in that hemisphere, PlayStation 5 being a good selling system, but potentially going up in price more, RAM prices going up more, tariffs possibly having another spike boost, who knows? To successfully run for Sony two simultaneous systems at the same time, right? Well, that's redundant. Two systems at the same time, simultaneous support. I don't see the next PlayStation Portable being as successful sales-wise as the original PSP. I don't think so. I'd have to look at it, though. I'd have to look. Just early thought, I don't think the thing's selling 70 million. While, like a PS5 sells 112, Sony, we promised our next PlayStation handheld will be affordable for everyone, and we delivered. You could buy it for less than $1,000. The price, $999.99. Yeah. He skipped my Doom message. Joycey J, the Doom message. Let me see. The Doom message. Scrolling up, I saw the Morgan Freeman one where you wouldn't have minded him narrating your life, but I don't see the Doom message. I don't see it. I don't see it. You could always at Paul Gale Network, which will definitely increase the likelihood of me reading it because then my name is highlighted in orange. But I didn't see it. Oh. Your mom and Morgan Freeman had 4 kids. That's funny. Holidays looking good. Yes. JView saying, I think the sooner we can get a direct, the better. Nintendo can have something ready around mid-late January since everyone just got their brand new Switch 2 for Christmas. Oh, gosh, that direct's going to be so good. Oh, I can't wait for that direct. We're potentially 6 weeks away. Woo! There's nothing quite as exciting as a Nintendo Direct. Dang, I love it. By the way, thank you, everybody, for being here. This fine Tuesday afternoon, we've got 42 people watching right now. That is awesome to see. And of that 42 people watching, we already have 28 likes. So that's a good, 73% of you liking the stream that are here tuning in. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Tsukino Ame saying, please like the live stream if you have not already. Okay, that was good timing. Cole York says, what do you think about the Switch Lite? Do you think it's a little late in its life cycle to buy one? I almost bought one, but I decided to wait to get the two. Well, first of all, it's $230. If you avoided a Nintendo Switch all generation long, and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to get back into gaming now. A big part of me says I gotta recommend a Nintendo Switch 2 because, yeah, it's $450 over a $230 Nintendo Switch Lite, which is $220 more. Nearly double. $10 away from being double. But you're going to be able to play it on the TV. You're going to play all those same games with better graphics. It's going to be more future-proofed because more games are going to come out for it longer ahead. Better graphics performance, the whole shebang. You know. However, if you don't need to be on the cutting edge of technology, if you just want an awesome system that you know I'm not going to play on TV mode, I'm just going to sit on my couch and play. I'm going to take it ride passenger when someone's driving in the car or on the bus or train or plane or in my bed, whatever. I'm going to enjoy the software on Nintendo Switch Online at a discounted rate, buying physical games, digital games when they're on sale. Dude, I have hundreds of titles at my disposal, many of which I could buy for less because they're on sale or used because they've been out there for a while. I would say no, like a Nintendo Switch Lite this late into the game, it's not too late. Enjoy it, have fun with it. It's a nice little system, and it's the cheapest entry point right now in gaming to game on a modern platform. And I say modern platform because even though Nintendo Switch is 8.5 years old, it's still going to get new games in 2026. It's still a relevant console, you know? You will still find people online to play with in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You'll still find people online to play Animal Crossing with. Animal Crossing is going to get a huge new update in the first quarter of 2026. You know, you're still going to find people to play with Tetris 99 online and F-Zero 99. It can still play Fortnite, and Fortnite is very popular and a lot of fun. So I would say, yeah, you can get a Nintendo Switch Lite and still enjoy it. I would recommend a Nintendo Switch 2, but that is a $210 difference. So I don't blame anybody for choosing something more affordable. Seriously, hope your holidays are going well. Thank you. LOL, it's okay. I'll tweet it to you. Okay, I'll open that here maybe. Let me see. The Doom message is doomed. Is it here? Doomed with some dinosaur alligators. Now I see. The next quarterly meeting for Nintendo is on Groundhog Day, I believe. Think we'll get a direct around then? Maybe. I usually estimate mid-February, you know, something like that. They are indeed just getting ready for 2026. Will you have an 8-hour live stream a day before the direct again? The last one was amazing. Oh, dang, that was epic. That was like on a Thursday, I think. Sometime in late August or early September. That was a pretty cool stream. I don't know. Well, an 8-hour one in the future, I could see it happening. An 8-hour one happening today or tomorrow, I don't think so. 2026 is going to be an awesome year for gaming. Yes, that's a joy of Switch 2. You can enjoy TV or handheld or tabletop mode still. Yeah. Switch 2, in my opinion, has been boring. It's my least used console, says Tony Jix Z8. Has been boring. Interesting. I mean, everyone's different, but like, gosh, to me, I picked that thing up at launch and right away it consumed the household. Oh, I already owned Street Fighter 6, but I was playing more Street Fighter 6 now, and I was playing it portably, and I was taking SF6 with me, and just fell in love with a game that I already loved. I was playing Split Fiction nonstop. My wife and I on TV on my file, in bed in tabletop mode on my file. My son had his own file in which I was like his player too. My daughter had her own file in which like my son, my wife, and I were like her player too. Welcome Tour was fun. We were taking it out, putting it on its kickstand, doing the little things, four of us surrounding the screen, finding the pixel. Like, it provided some entertainment. I was swapping out and playing Fast Fusion. Such a beautiful, fast, tough racing game. I was having fun going back in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and being like, oh my gosh, what a visual growth it's been. And then a freaking month later, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh, played it nonstop. Loved it. A lot of two-player fun. My own file, my son's own file. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Such a treat. Really, really good game. Pokemon Legends ZA has been fun. WWE 2K25 has been fun. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment in November was a blast. I didn't buy Kirby Air Riders, but I played it on the demo. Really good as well. Hades 2 has been amazing. Incredible game. Hollow Knight Silk Song, great. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, excellent. Loved it. Dude, for me, the almost 7 months that Nintendo Switch 2 has been out has been tremendous. Anything but boring. But, to each their own. Like, those are my... Oh, and Mario Kart World! How did I forget, like, Mario Kart World? We played it so much at launch, and then once in a while we're still picking it up 6 months later. Like, it's not a game that I play every day. Not even every week. But very front-loaded, and then, like, at least once a month, probably, we're picking it up and playing it. It's just another fun game. But that's me. If for you it's been boring and your least played console, I mean, hopefully 2026 something turns around for you that makes it more fun. But like, dang, I think it's been an awesome system so far. Well, it takes at least a year to build up variety, Jeannie says. HMON661 says, Happy New Year, Paul. Happy New Year. And Jeannie, yeah, I agree. Like a year is a good amount of time to build up a library, but I think the first 7 months have already done so. I'm getting my 14-year-old daughter a Switch Lite in 2 weeks. She wants Animal Crossing, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I say go for it. Yeah. Sketches of Harmony is here. Good to see you, Sketches of Harmony. It's been a little bit. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Johan, Nintendo Leaker, and Miss Doug Bowser. Yeah. Tomorrow's his last day. Lee J. One day. Okay. Good to see you guys. Just saying a quick hello as I'm a vegetable today. Run out of ADHD meds. Well, Sketches, even if you're here for a little bit, thank you for being here for a little bit. It is good seeing you. I'm only playing Switch 2 since it launched. I still got Switch games I need to play on it. Yeah, Lee J. I mean, we play it nonstop. I'm glad you're having fun with it. Pokemon Fan 34 says, Hi, Paul. Hi, Pokemon Fan 34. Welcome, welcome. We got 50 people watching now. Woo! Nice going. Thank y'all. And of those 50 people watching, 37 are liking the stream. Hey, that's pretty good odds right there. 74% of the people watching like the stream. Why, thank you. And to the 26 people that don't like it, Just kidding. It's okay. Maybe it's your first time here. Maybe you're trying to find out, do I like this stream? I don't know. Well, I hope you like it. I hope you have a good time. We have a good community. We have good vibes. We give each other good energy. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of positivity here. And we talk gaming news and sales and stuff like that and more all the time. Gambit says, if you have kids, family, siblings, girlfriend, boyfriend, Switch 2 is awesome. It's great for multiplayer scenarios. Yeah, I agree. Caps Paranormal says, hi Paul, good to see you live again today. Guess what I've been playing on my Switch 2? Layers of Fear. It is gorgeous and creepy as heck. Layers of Fear. Interesting. Haven't played it, but I'm glad that you are. Sounds cool. Switch 2 is awesome. Yes, it is. Talking back and forth amongst each other. John Doe Juggalo says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, John Doe Juggalo. I'm juggling 3 games on Switch 2 currently. Pokemon Legends ZA, endgame content, Metro Prime 4, which are streaming, and the Super Mario Galaxy during your free time. That's cool. Again, but you liked it. Thanks. Tsukino Ame talking to Sketches. And Sketches, I hope you feel better too. Good. Let's see. Oh boy, I've got a poll for you. Dropping it right now. I love polls. What would you like more in 2026? An amazing Ocarina of Time remake. I'm talking Nintendo puts in somewhere between Resident Evil 4 and Final Fantasy 7 remake effort, where it's not just remastered, it's not just remade assets, but they remake the thing. It's got voice acting and high quality cinema scenes, bigger scope, newer gameplay elements. You could play as Sheik in the 7 years in between with action-oriented combat. The size and scope is different. Link could do more. There are some different elements. There's like a new dungeon sort of area. The map is bigger. Not Breath of the Wild big to make it too different, but it's bigger. You see more of what Ganondorf is doing behind the scenes. We see some more on the backstory to him. It is elaborate as heck, and it is just a monstrous, amazing, spectacular freaking game that comes out in November. Oh. Or the next big new 3D Mario game, which is titled Super Mario Galaxy 3, to capitalize off of Super Mario Galaxy 1 plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 coming out on Nintendo Switch. The Super Mario Galaxy movie dropping in theaters next April, and then just using what they've learned along the way and making the most spectacular 3D Mario game filled with nostalgia, multiplayer components, Yoshi, different character skins and costumes like Super Mario Odyssey had, where they've got like the Mario movie look that you could apply to Mario. Maybe Donkey Kong popping in. Maybe Mario entering one of the worlds, one of the planets of his adventure being Donkey Kong Island or something like that. Mario going really ambitious and being teleported throughout space and having a stage where he interacts with the Star Fox characters or something like that, because it's a galaxy and they're really playing up on the fact of Mario is Nintendo's I can go everywhere and do everything guy. I like sports, like being a doctor, like puzzles, like everything, you know? Ocarina of Time remake or brand spanking new amazing 3D Mario via Galaxy 3. If you could only pick one, which is your pick for 2026? Oh, dang, that's tough. That is tough. Oh, man. That is tough. And I said it in a way I think that really makes you think, oh shoot, both would be pretty sweet. I mean, at least for me, I think of it and I'm like, oh dang, I don't know, what would I pick? I'd have to think about it. Ah, let's see. Small Little Band says, I just beat Metroid Prime 4. The fetch quests at the end were pretty monotonous, but aside from that, it was a very solid game. What was monotonous for you? Regarding the green? The green? I had very little to get, so that didn't bother me, because I was getting it along the way, if that's what you mean. But I'm glad that you like the game overall. David's saying that's a tough one. Lee J is going with Ocarina. Small Little Man says I would rather have a brand new game than a game that's already been remade before. So you go with Mario, I guess. David, Ocarina. Small Little Man, you prefer Mario. Hmon says I would love Mario Galaxy 3, but Ocarina could sure use a remake for new fans. The Great Wah says that definitely a tough pull. I like Zelda more than Mario though. David, both would be nice though. Mario Kid, YT, could we get a new Mario game next year? Or would we wait even longer? You know, Mario Kid, YT, I could see a new 3D Mario game next year. We know we're getting that Super Mario Brothers Wonder bump for Nintendo Switch 2. But next year, with there being a new Yoshi game, probably in the earlier half, a new Mario movie, I'm still not against the thought of a 3D Mario dropping in the holidays, like in November or something. No guarantees, but I think it can happen. Ocarina of Time is still considered the gaming GOAT or next Mario Galaxy. Yeah, Gambit. It's a tough one. Timothy Spencer, X8N. I don't know if I've missed your point on the matter, but I think a break between consoles is a good thing. The current upgrades are as impressive as they were in the NES to SNES era. A break, like letting the console generations take longer so the impact is better between new systems coming out. If that's what you mean, like, yeah, I agree. I think, see, I don't want to say drag out a gen because that kind of has like a negative connotation associated with it. Drag it out. Have a system take too long to where it's not fun. You see the competition over there like on greener pastures and you're stuck in the past. Not like that long, right? But as long as the creative vision is there and studios are taking advantage of the system and pumping out more things and you're getting more bang for your buck, meanwhile, the developers behind the scenes could be like, hey, now that prices are stabilizing, now that chips are just improving at a rapid rate, we could take 8 years to release a new system and have a big difference between our predecessor and our current, or our current and our next, Yeah. Pokemon Fan 34. You would like me to jump in the pool? I checked this morning because I was cleaning the pool. It's a pretty windy day, so I was cleaning up the leaves. You know what it is, Pokemon Fan 34. It is unrealistic, but it is, and I made it this way on purpose because I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen. But in the 49-degree pool, I would turn this screen around, open up my window, point the webcam outside. It is 500. That's not going to happen. With my shirt, with my new Christmas sweater, my pants, socks, fully loaded, I run and jump into that pool. I shout your name out. Pokemon Fan 34, and I say, "This is for you." And then I clip that and I make a separate video. So you want it so bad? Ooh, you gotta do. But no, that's it. That's it. Maybe for fun, for this, maybe for this. Those are maybes. You want it to happen? That's what it is to happen, you know. that's just it. That's just it. Probably never going to happen, by the way. I shouldn't say never, but I'm going to say it. It's probably never going to happen. But if it did, hey, I guess I'd have to do it, you know. Oh well. Also, Zelda remake. Okay, that was your choice. Tsukino Ame says, "Do you think that the monsters in Breath of the Wild make their own loincloths, or that someone is making the loincloths for them?" I think they're making their own. I think they're making their own. I think they have enough intelligence. If they have enough intelligence to, like, hunt down a deer, put up some wood beams, start a fire, cut up a deer or something, and roast it around, wield weapons, they have enough intelligence to create some jewelry and create some articles of clothing. You know? Like, well, after they hunt the deer or hunt the bear, they could be, yeah, making their clothes. They're clearly making their food. They're wearing some jewelry of some teeth and what have you. Making some weapons. Adding things to their spears. So yeah, they make their own. That's what I'm going with. Nintex 2 Dope is here. I want a new Nintendo handheld. You know what would be neat, Nintex 2 Dope? I've said this before. It's starting to get less likely, but I'm not omitting it from happening altogether. And that is Nintendo Switch Micro. If Nintendo could get the manufacturing costs down low enough, screen smaller, form factor overall smaller, maybe you have to make it all digital. Maybe not, though. Imagine a $100 Nintendo Switch Micro. Gosh, would that sell? Because that would reach a new demographic. I'm looking for something to buy. $100? Not that it's throwaway money, but it's a lot easier to cough up 100 than 230. It would sell to a new audience, and it would sell to an audience of, I'm going to buy it just because it's cool, and I already have a Nintendo Switch, or Nintendo Switch Lite, or a Nintendo Switch OLED model, or a Nintendo Switch 2, or all of the above, or some kind of combination thereof, you know? It would sell to the, got a little brother, little sister, little cousin, little nephew, little niece, new kid, new son, new daughter, and so forth. $100, Nintendo Switch Micro. Release that thing summer of 2026. I am already of the thought process that Nintendo Switch 1 is going to hit 160 million sometime summer of 2027. With or without the micro. But with the micro, oh, it's just that much more likely at that point. A Mario game has more of a sense of wonder to it than a new Zelda, says Graceful Requiem. Possibly. Did the whole 3D Mario team work on Bonanza, or was it just a percentage of them? I don't know. What percentage? Timothy Spencer says, yes, the time between one system to another has resulted in diminishing returns in terms of graphics and creativity. You know who loves Mario games? This guy does. Look at this guy. This is this not the fluffiest guy you've ever seen? I mean, he just made a fluff. He thought that he would make an appearance today. Look at this. Look at this. Behold Mario. He's got some chunk to him. Mario, you're a healthy cat, you know that? I will give you treats later on for the amusement you provided. Timothy Spencer says, okay, I read that one. Extended. Yes, make it last. Get the most out of the hardware, yeah. 50,000 subscriber goal. Joyce J, could you imagine this channel at 50,000? Oh, that's something that's way in the future, probably. I always thought it was cool. Like, the thought of 10,000 was cool. At the trajectory that my channel was going, you know, I didn't know if 10,000 was going to happen or not. Because despite having some videos of like 96,000 Dragon Ball over here, 150,000 Karate one over here, 130,000 here, 80,000 here, boom, 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 boom. The subscribers going into this year was like 3,588 or something like that. Basically 3,600. So, and that's over 19 years. But in this year, to go from 3,600 to 8,021, that's more than double in 1/20th the time, essentially. So now I'm like, at this pace, maybe 10,000 will actually be achieved by my birthday. I mean, maybe July 7th, 2026, this channel's at 10,000. I don't want to be presumptuous, but maybe, you know. Whereas before, it's like, 2,000 in half a year, that's too big of a growth. Now it's like, 2,000 in half a year, that is possible if it is experiencing a similar growth as it is now, as it has this year, you know. 50,000 though, that's another story. They make their own loincloths because they have dignity, yeah. But who told them they need to wear cloths like human? They are monsters. I think they're monsters, but with a sense of identity, privacy, personal space to an extent amongst themselves, you know? Graceful Requiem still has your Game Boy Micro. Nintex 2 Dope likes the idea of the Game Boy Micro. A foldable Nintendo Switch Micro that can actually fit in a normal pocket. You know, foldable screen is one thing, but at the very least, like a little clamshell that covers that top would be cool. GBA Micro was a flash in the pan, a product of its time, but they could try, yeah. We don't need a new console till at least 2030 at least. Nintendo Switch 2 definitely doesn't need to come out, or sorry, Nintendo Switch 3 or whatever doesn't need to come out for like 2032 or something. Maybe 2033 they could push it. Maybe even longer. I don't know. But yeah, regarding PS6 and Xbox Series X having its successor, well, I should say, yeah. Regarding PS6 and the next Xbox console, the Xbox Series successor, I was originally thinking like November 2027, maybe 28. Now I'm thinking, shoot, maybe it's like November 28, but not till 29. 30 seems too far out, but maybe by the sounds of what's happening. I don't know. The Switch Micro is interesting, but don't you think it would cut too many corners to be worth producing, let's say, compared to the Switch Lite? It depends, J-Views. How much does it cost to make? How affordable are the chipsets, the screen being used? Can they throw in like a, 256 or 512 gigabyte internal memory while still having micro SD XC card? But yeah, no physical card insertion slot, and it's just $100. Small form factor, easily put on the shelves of the likes of Target, Walmart, Best Buy. I don't know, maybe. Okay, talking about the bokoblins. Fluffy cat, yeah. Handsome cat, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. It's a circle of life. It's the wheel of... Yeah. Yeah, Joycey, that's right. Floopy Mario. Yeah. I was holding him up like Simba, almost. Almost. Next time I should. It's the circle of life. we do that with him. I could definitely imagine this channel at 50K. Wow, thank you for that. I mean, can I imagine it at 50K? In time. In time. Yeah. I'm enjoying day by day, you know? Whatever we do, however we go about it. Yeah. But 10K. I think 10K is a reasonable goal for, you know what, 2026. I'm not even going to put like the stressor on of, you know what, 10,000 by my birthday. But that's going to be the mini goal, if you will, is like 10,000 by my birthday, which is pretty much halfway into the year, would be pretty sweet. So I'm going to say hitting 10 by the end of the year, but ideally 10K by my birthday. That would be just neat. You know, that'd be fun. Definitely. Then Text2Dope says, this channel is one of my favorite YouTube channels. Wish you all the luck in 2026, and hopefully we both get some games we really want this year. Well, thank you for that. That's a very nice comment. Super cool to say. I appreciate that. And I hope you have a great 2026 as well. Pokemon Fan 34 says 47 likes. Super cool. Thank y'all. Will Dispatch get a Switch 2 physical edition? Joaquin, it might. We're hearing more and more studios and just seeing more and more drops of folks updating versions to have Nintendo Switch 2 editions. So, it might. Genie says, the viability of a PS6 and next-gen Xbox depends on how drawn out this AI thing is taking up resources. Gambit, you definitely deserve it, man. Well, thank you, Gambit. Speaking of Gambit, have you seen the commercial spot of, so freaking cool, Charles Xavier, Sentinel, Cyclops, played by James Marsden, for Avengers Doomsday coming out next year. So cool. His costume, the special effects, the cinematography being used in the moment. I love it. I love it. It's going to be dope. Patrick Stewart coming back. Avengers Doomsday is going to be a really big movie. You've got that coming out next year. I know we're diving away a little bit from gaming for a moment, but dude, Avengers Doomsday next year. Street Fighter the movie next year. The Super Mario Galaxy movie next year. Spider-Man. A New Beginning? Is that what it's called? Or Brand New Day? What's it called? Brand New Beginning or A New Beginning? Brand New Day, New Beginning. Spider-Man. I forgot the subtitle in the moment. And Supergirl. 2026 is going to be cool for films. I can't wait. And then 2027, I think, is the Legend of Zelda movie, which I know. Godzilla Kong Supernova. Woo! And I think Sonic the Hedgehog 4? Wow. Love it. We got like Toy Story 5 on the horizon. Frozen 3 on the horizon. Maybe a Donkey Kong movie of some sort within the next 3 years or something like that. Maybe that's starting to speculate, but like, got some cool stuff happening. Yeah, it would have to be fully digital. That's the only way I could see it being a long-term product if it has expandable storage. Would it have the power to play Switch games or be an NSO machine? It'd have to, in my opinion, have the power to play Nintendo Switch games. But a purely NSO device, that's something that could also sell. I've thought about that, like, you know, Nintendo Switch Online player or something like that. And it just has access to games of yesteryear. It needs an internet connection, but it's just an NSO device. What if you bought this Nintendo Switch Online player for the cost of a couple of years worth of Nintendo Switch Online membership at the expansion pack tier, but otherwise the system was kind of free, right? Like, what if it was a $150 device that comes with 3 years worth of NSO, and that's a device. Like, you're buying the device and doesn't play any games, no downloads, no Nintendo Switch games, nothing like that. It's just an NSO player for $150, but you got 3 years of free NSO with it, and yeah, it will work on your other Nintendo Switches. Ooh, that's not too shabby either. You know what I mean? Carlton San is here saying, "Hey Paul, hey chat. Thank you, Gambit. Brand new day. Thank you, Michael S. Gutman. Brand new day, JVs. Thank you. Yeah. Lee is super excited for the Doomsday movie. Heck yeah. Tsukino Ame is bringing cookies in the chat. Carlton San dropped that Green Ranger badge. Member for 4 months. That's pretty sweet. You know, soon people are going to get their 6-month badge. There's some people that are going to get the 6-month badge. And then I'm going to have to drop one for a year because, you know, we're a little bit too far away for that. But we're getting close to 6 months, which is pretty neat. Some folks are going to get that. I think I want to see Supergirl next year. Frozen 3 is a must-see in theaters too. OMG, that is genius. Thank you, Nintex Dope, if you're talking to me. Gambit says Mario Galaxy, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, Odyssey, and much more. I think that's it. I think I'm caught up. Dang. I was more or less on fire. I like when I'm not too far behind. I also like being able to answer everything or read everything, you know. Kirby is traditionally pink. Yoshi, in his original form, was green. Donkey Kong is brown and tan. Mario's primary colors are red and blue. Luigi's primary colors are green and blue. Samus's main colors are orange and red. Link's main colors are green or a light blue. Star Fox, you've got gray and blue for the R-Wing representation, with Fox McCloud primarily being, I'd say, gray and green. So it really depends on the character and what color he or she or they have that kind of tell the story of who they are. Princess Peach, associated with pink. Princess Zelda, I'm going to go with purple and gray. But a light blue has become a popular choice as well. Yeah, covered the main ones. Pikmin, Blue, red, and yellow. Pretty evenly split right there. Yeah. Thank you for asking all sorts of questions. Like Caps Paranormal asking or saying, Ocarina of Time Remake will break so many records, maybe bested only by GTA 6. I mean, GTA 6 would outsell Ocarina of Time Remake, but man, if Ocarina of Time Remake got the kind of treatment that I would love to see it have, it would be one of the highest rated games of the year and probably one of the top sellers, you know. Avengers Secret War 2027, yeah. Two Avengers big movies coming out back to back is pretty sweet. Hmm. Alrighty. Let's see, anything going on the X side of things? No. By the way, oh, we can watch this. I mean, it's been on the screen for a while. Today in gaming history, December 30th, 2001, Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Stackers launched for the Game Boy Advance in North America. Today in gaming. Always a game in gaming history. You'll never run out of content. I'll always be able to share something. Not every game is a big blockbuster release, but still a part of history nonetheless, you know? Still got to give it some attention, some time. Indie, big studio, whatever. Alrighty. I'm going to end the poll. What would you like more in 2026? An amazing Ocarina of Time remake got 65% of the votes. An amazing Super Mario Galaxy 3 got 35% of the votes. 46 people voted. And we are closing the poll. 45 watching now, by the way, with 50 likes. I appreciate that the likes have gone past the amount of people watching. That means that even if you were here for a little bit and dipped out, you still enjoyed your time. So thank you, everybody. Alrighty. What's the plan? What's the plan? We've got one last opportunity to stream this year, which is tomorrow, New Year's Eve. I kind of wish that tomorrow also was a Thursday, just because then we would probably have the Famitsu sales to go over and have that nice last bam 236,000 Nintendo Switch 2 systems sold in Japan. Look at Mario Kart World with 114,000 units, and Pokemon Legends ZA, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, and look at the base Nintendo Switch moved 52,000. Wow, and all this stuff, right? But that's on Thursday. I don't know for sure if I will stream Thursday morning. I'd like to, on the first day of the new year. But I will stream tomorrow. We have 425 members. Tomorrow will be the last chance at hitting 500 for the end of the year. That's a lot though. That's 75 in one day. We got one today. Huge thank you to Ash for that awesome $1 one membership contribution today. 425 is a nice number to end, and if that's what we end the year with, dude, that's cool. What a journey it's been, you know? But I'll make that a soft goal of like, that would be pretty cool to hit. But regardless of whether it does or not, Dude, what a fun stream today. What a fun December month of streaming in general it's been. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, we passed our Nintendo 64 minute mark, which is cool. And I guess we'll close it out. So, maybe tomorrow we'll have some other gaming news. If we don't have any gaming news to go over, it could be like a Q&A kind of day, or a request day of watching trailers, maybe playing some videos, maybe deep diving into a topic, but we'll see. Alrighty. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you, Ash, once again. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning, I guess, for the last stream of 2025. Before I go, Terath7607 coming in at the end, waving. Good to see you. I don't think I saw your name earlier, so thank you for either just getting here or thank you for being here earlier. Alrighty. Gambit, yeah, last day of the year. Pokemon Fan 34, yeah. Michael S. Gutman, yeah. Okay. I've read those. Tsukino Ame, bye-bye. Alrighty. Well, Yvonne Francois, bye. Bye, y'all. See you tomorrow for some more gaming talk. Hopefully a little bit of news. And yeah, some random fun if we don't have anything big to cover. Alright. Tall show.